already established protocol. Once, it's my pleasure to be here. This is my first time of attending an award put together by city people. We all know city people, more or less household name, particularly in the entertainment industry. Once again, my name is Kehinde. Sonaike. I'm the General Manager of Lagos State Fiscal Planning Permit Authority. We are one of the regulators in the built environments. If I start, I want to ask from city people, particularly the chief organizer, if this event or them were using it as a planning permit. But anyway, never mind. You know, we are regulating a very delicate and very critical sector. That's the built environment. After food is shelter. And this part of the world, the dream of every one of us is to have a shelter over our heads, particularly in the form of building a mansion that we call home. But this dream will only be actualized if you have the statutory planning permits. Otherwise, this tall man that is standing before you will have to be chasing you everywhere, such that I will have to be giving you love letters in form of contraventions, and if possible to seal up that site until the needful is done. And if I think that that dream is not in consonance with the extant law of that place, what will I mean? You know, we have different plans. We have master plans, we have district plan, we have some other plans, like layouts. So if that extant law is being infringed on, then I have to bring the bulldozer to pull that down. Why? For the safety of everybody. In the built environment, what is very germane is safety. And for us as a regulator, it's very important that whenever we are putting our blocks together, we have to adhere strictly to that regulations. Otherwise, we will not allow you to actualize that your dream home. Also, I'm a sister agency called Lagos State Building Control Agency. What is their primary is to manage the level of that construction up to habitation. But without wasting much of your time, I just quickly go through some of our requirements for you to get these building plans. One of them, you see, before you buy, particularly I know I'm talking to real estate people who are playing very, very vital role in the built environment. And I want us to be very, very attentive. Before you commit that your hand revenue or money into any real estate property, it is important that you find out about the status of that land. Not every area in Lagos State is buildable. That is, you can do that construction. Not every area you can put that event center or commercial use, no. There's some areas that are strictly reserved for residential, same for commercial, same for industrial. But over time, we discovered that people are not following these simple rules. Before you commit that your money, your investment into real estate, find out what is the status of that land. Is it an acquired land? Is it a committed acquisition? Because when I say committed acquisition, that is government has a specific use for that land. Please don't let the so-called moneyless be deceiving you that don't worry, never mind. After a while, government will look the other side. You are not going to look the other side. We will come after you. For instance, we have discovered that over 70% of the existing buildings in Lagos State either without planning permits or they deviated from that planning permit, doing something else. So that is why it's advisable that before you do anything, please kindly approach any of our town planning office. We have the district office scattered all over the states. At the last count, we have 42 district offices all over the states, and we are going to create more because Mr. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who is doing very, very amazingly well in Lagos State in terms of infrastructure, has been magnanimous to grant us the right to create more district offices. Why? So that people can have easy access to the town planning offices. So in case you are staying in Ikorodu for this, you don't have to come to Ikeja to process your planning permits. So if you have a survey, for instance, you bring the survey to our office, to the nearest office to you. Take that survey in there. Let them do what they call shutting. They will determine if that land is free or not. So thereafter, you can now commission your architects to do a design for you. Because when you approach our office, we will have informed you in terms of height. What is the permissible height? What is the permissible use? What are the setbacks? If it is possible for me, I will come back and visit this place tomorrow. But I'm not going to do that because of city people. Look at the parking arrangement, for instance. For an event center, they have to have a functional parking space, adequate enough for every one of us to park. Without somebody, the security man coming to call us to say, please come and repark. And these are some of the challenges that we are struggling with. The usual complaint of people is that the planning process takes a very long time. Yes, that was in the past. Ever since the beginning of this administration of Babajide Sanwo-Olu, we have reduced that processing time to 10 working days. We conclude our process. Anybody can take me on that. I will tell you what the causes of delay. One, payment of tax. Tax is a civic responsibility of everybody, of every actors, all over the globe. Lagos State is not an exception. But what do you have? For instance, somebody wants to build a 10-story building in Banana, and is paying as low as 500,000 every year as tax, income tax. I mean, that's grossly adequate, according to the tax people. So if you are not tax compliant, or if you are not paying your tax, or you are changing government in terms of tax payments, we are not going to release that approval to you. So within that 10 working days, we are going to conclude our process and inform you that your approval is ready for collection. But however, until you are cleared by the LRS before we release that tax to you. So this is one of the causes of delay. And people take us and look, it doesn't take 10 days. You can take me for my word, 10 days. If all your papers are correct, including tax, you get your permits. But without that, we only conclude that process. And we are going to hold on to that permit until LRS has said, yes, we are in tax compliance. One of the causes of delays, people use third party, so-called agents. And some of these agents, they are touts. They are only interested in collecting your money. I've seen a situation whereby even the developer is giving the third party everything. But because the third party wants to still get more money from that developer, I've started giving the developer stories. They want this. They will mention my name, the GM. I will have to see the GM. The file is on the table. And if you don't see GM, they won't sign that approval. That is not. I know some of the sponsors here, Red Brick, Amen Estates, and the like. I'm not going to place, that's off record. So that is one of the things. If you come to us, please be wary of your engaging third party or so-called agents. They delay your applications in order to extort more money from you. And that's the fact. Please don't mind anybody. If anybody tells you the GM, your files on this, as we speak, I can give my key, the office of to anybody to go and check. You won't find any file on my table as we speak. Yes, I'm challenging people on that. Every file that was brought to my office as of Friday, as I'm speaking with you, I have cleared everything. Meaning that there is no file. Any file that will come to my table will be tomorrow. Because I have to sign all the applications except anything above 6th floor that has to go to the permanent secretary or the honorable commissioner. And this above 10th floor, he has to go to Mr. Governor for his concurrence. So please, let us be very wary of third party. I'm not saying you shouldn't engage, because I know as a developer you are busy with other things. But while you are engaging this so-called third party, be very careful that they are telling you the right story. If they are telling you anything, ask if there is anything you are requesting from that developer, we put it in writing. So tell them to show you the paper, the correspondent requesting for any additional information from us. Otherwise, please don't believe them. They are only interested in getting more money from you. Another cause of delay is inadequate documentation. We are procedural people. We want everything. You see, there are things that has to be done before we can give you the approval. For instance, if you are building within government schemed area, let's say for instance, Lekki Phase 1, it is mandatory that you obtain clearance, that's key. And they must give you authorization to commence that processing in form of clearance letter. 2, you must also obtain clearance from LASPPPA. Why? Because of the fact that sometimes you are carrying an allocation which probably has been revoked for one reason or the other, you don't know. And you are still believing that you are the original allotee. So that is why we request for clearance from these other MDAs, so we will not be working at cross purposes. Another cause of delay, underpayments. Underpayments. If at the district office, for instance, you have been able to maybe find your way to, I don't know, lobby them to reduce your assessments one way or the other, no problem. When it gets to my table, I will discover that and I will send the file back. I said, this is an underpayment. They haven't paid the right or the adequate money. I will send such file back. Imagine a file that has been coming from the district office down to the supervising director before it gets to my table, maybe 2 or 3 days, and I have to send such file back again just because of underpayment, underassessment. I'm not going to take that. Government will not take that. Because sometimes developers and the habit of lobbying our officers to reduce government fees. Please, let us desist from that. It won't help anybody. You see, the environment is the only common denomination we have. The environment belongs to everybody, meaning that every one of us has to play our own part as expected of us. Otherwise, there's going to be an issue. Let me tell you the latest thing that is happening now. Over density, over ice. Like I said before, in some parts of the states, we have what we call height restriction, meaning that you can't go above 6th floor, 7th floor, 8th floors. But because people want to maximize their returns on that investment, what do? They will bring in that 6th floor that is permissible and do what? Add additional 2 floors or 3 floors. And either during the time of construction or after construction, they have to come down. People start blaming God. Yes, we have a part, but everybody also has a part. Because you are only being selfish. the sense that it just wants to maximize at the expense of the environment. There's always a reason why you have high institution, either because you want to have a common skyline. And you yourself, you can see that, but just because of that greed, people do what? Add extra floor. And meanwhile, you have prepared foundation for 6th floor, and you are putting additional floor. We have also discovered that when we grant 4 family units, that is 4 flats, developers and the architect or building designer or whatever, or engineers, they come together and multiply that 4 flats to 8 flats, just because of money. And after a while, because that has implication. It has implication on the infrastructure. It has implication on the facility within that premises. Because when government is putting in infrastructure, all of this, they come to us, they get this data. Okay, how many family units are in this area? We give them based on what has been submitted to us. Unfortunately, government is under designing, under providing infrastructure for overpopulation. At the almost middle of this year, we organized something, a stakeholder, what we call voluntary compliance. What is voluntary compliance? It's you just doing your design, getting your approval according to the laid down procedure. What's the implication of you not embracing voluntary compliance? 1, additional costs. Because when we come there, I always tell people there's always a day of reckoning. You come, whether you, just let me, for your information, even if you have built your house 20 years, 100 years, permit is not status bar. You can come even after 20 years, 50 years to ask for the planning permit. So when we come and you can't provide us anything, that we close that building down. There's this saying in our law, they call it regularization. Because if you have to pull all buildings down in Lagos State, people now say the government is anti-people. So sometimes we try to embrace what we call regularization. Come forward, let's see. Come and regularize that thing. They will now impose penal fee times 4. When you ought to have paid like 200,000, we now multiply that times 2. That is 800,000. That's the cost of you not embracing voluntary compliance. You know, in construction, time is of essence. We close that down construction site as long as you fail to do what is needful. So you are losing time. That's the second one. How about your subscribers, your vendors? They start asking, what is happening? Why is government closing this place down? They start asking you questions. It's not good for your brand. It's not good for the image of that developer. Do you know there are almost some developers that are more or less fugitive in Nigeria, even though they are Nigerians, because they can't work because we have declared them wanted. Because of what? Because of what we are talking about. Thank you. What is the benefit of voluntary compliance? 1, that construction, you end up constructing it within the time frame that you have set out. 2, you also add, if I want to throw a big challenge now, I know we have developers here. I can tell, if I ask you to show me what you are constructing now, bring out the permits. Maybe only a quarter of people in this room will be able to do that. However, please, I want to end by saying this. Please, let us embrace voluntary compliance. It's for the safety of life and property. We are witnesses to the unfortunate incident that has been. Yes, like I said, we have our own faults. I'm not going to stand there and say, look, we are earlier than thou. No. But please, don't induce our officers. Don't corrupt them. I know it is very tough, but we have simplified the process of getting this planning permit. Trust me. If you have any delay, my office is always open. I don't leave office until 8, 9 p.m. Please come forward and tell me. I will be willing to assist you. Except there's any major factor that is delaying that. Otherwise, you don't need it. 10 working days. Please take my word for that. Challenge me anytime you see me. Man, you told us 10 working days. That is for bearing any bureaucratic, bottleneck. If you pay your tax, and if all your documents are intact, what is the problem? And please, once again, if anybody asks you to bring money, please, I want to appeal and I want to end on that. Please don't give any of our officers money for processes free. You have paid for it. Even the state certification, you have also paid for the state certification. The state is just for our engineers, our architects, to ensure, it's not that even helping you to checkmate your so-called contractor, your so-called engineers. You have paid for them. You have paid in advance 5%. So you don't need to pay anybody money. Just come, get your authorization, and move to site. Before you do anything, inform LASPPPA, please come. Let us, even if for anything, let us have that collective determination that we want to do it right for once. People are losing their lives, their property, just because of, one, this corruption in the built environment. Where are we taking the money to? Are we going to spend it 11? We gave you 4 flats, you build 10 flats just because of money. 4 floors, we put 10 additional floors just because of money. Government is not good. Government is this. Government. In our own little way, what are we doing to assist the environment? Thank you.
Please, we can make the applause louder. Thank you very much, sir.